Hello guys, welcome to our channel. So today we'll be going through the Leetcode question 344, which is to reverse a string. So here we have an input string which is given as a list of characters, and we need to modify this input list in place with space complexity O1. So here in this example we have the list where hello is given, and we need to reverse this hello such that we get OLLEH. So there are several ways in which we can solve this problem. The most basic one is using the reverse method. So the reverse method is an inbuilt function provided by Python, and the code for this would be given by s.reverse, where reverse is reversing the list in place. So what in place basically means is that it modifies the given list without requiring any additional space for producing the output. And the time complexity for this would be O1, as it depends on the number of elements in the list, and space complexity would be O1 since it modifies the list in place without requiring any extra space or memory allocation. Now our second method is two pointer method. Here we consider one pointer at the beginning of the list and the other pointer pointing at the ending of the list, which is so the first pointer is pointing at index 0 and the second pointer is pointing at index 4. Then we perform the swapping here. So the element at index 0 is swapped with element at index 4, and parallelly in element at index 4 is swapped with the element at index 0, and then the pointers will move forward such that first pointer is going to index 1 and second pointer points to index 3. So now the element at index 1 is swapped with element at index 3, and simultaneously we will have element at index 3 is swapped with element at index 1. Now the pointers will go to index 2. So both the pointers are pointing to index 2. So now it fulfills a condition, that is, if we have an index pointed by the first pointer greater or equal to the index pointed by the second pointer, then our condition is satisfied and our code will stop. So now the code for this is given by, let's have length which is equal to length of our list S. Then we will start the for loop where the element at index I is swapped with element at index length minus 1 minus I, and parallelly element at index length minus 1 minus I is swapped with element at index I. So what is happening here is that consider I to be equal to 0. Then we have S0, which is swapped with S. Length would be 5 here, minus 1 minus 0, which is equal to 4. So now our second pointer, now our index is S index is 4. So our second pointer is pointing to index 4. And parallelly, element at index 4 is swapped with element at index 1. Then consider I to be 1. Then we will have S1 swapped with S5 minus 1 minus 1, which is equal to 3. So now our index is 3 here for the second pointer. So the element at index 1 is swapped with element at index 3, and parallelly S3 is swapped with S1. And then again, now we have I equals to 2. So Si would be S2, and our second pointer index would be S5 minus 1 minus 2, which is equal to 2. So now, since our condition is fulfilled, so it will break the code. I'll write the condition now. So if I is greater equal to length minus 1 minus I, it will break the for loop and we will come out of this for loop. So now we have reversed the string in place without requiring any further list or anything. So we have got a reversed list. So our loop here will continue till we get this condition, which is if index I is greater or equal to the index length minus 1 minus I, it would break the for loop, and we will come out of our code, and then we can print our list. Then we have another method, which is recursion method. So here we will be doing the same thing, which is doing the swapping between the elements at index I and element at index length minus 1 minus I. But here, instead of using the for loop, we will be using the recursion method. So basically, recursion is a method that calls itself again and again until some condition is satisfied. So if it meets that condition, it will return and our code will be complete. So here we will define our function. Let's call it swap. Let's call this function where we have um, the argument 0, first argument 0, which is the first pointer is at 0 index. So we have first argument as 0, then we have length minus 1, which is the second pointer index, and then we give our list S. Then we define these same arguments in the swap method, but now we are calling it starting index, ending index, and our list as ST. Now we will do the swapping. So S at start is swapped with S at end, and S end is swapped with S start. Okay, then again we will be calling a function swap till a condition is met. So now we'll be having the argument with start plus plus or plus 1 as a first argument, which means that now our chart has the pointer going to the second index, which is S1 here, and second argument would be end minus 1, which means that the pointer is going to index 3. So this will be, first pointer will be at index 1 and second pointer will be at index 3. And here it was S0 swapped with S4 and S4 swapped with S1. So now we have called this swap again, where our first argument would be having index 1 and second argument would be having index 3. And then we'll again call our third argument would be SG, that is we are again calling our list. So this will again call our recursion function until the condition is met where start is greater equal to end, and at this point our function will return since a condition is fulfilled. Now we have got our list which has been reversed in place. So here we can print this list. So we can see that in both these methods we are using swapping. It's just that instead of using for loop we are having recursion method here. And the time complexity for both these functions would be on, since the function is performing for loop or recursion method on n by 2 elements. As we have n by 2 elements on which we are performing the for loop or the recursion method. So that's why we are having time complexity of on, and then space complexity would be again o1 since we are reversing the string in place. String in place. And we need not require any further memory for that. So now we are done with our three methods. So first is the reverse method, which is super easy to understand and write. So this is just an inbuilt Python method. And since this is the code, which is just one line as dot reverse, it can save us time and effort since it is the shortest code. And if you want to understand the code for reversing the string in detail, you can go through this method, which is two pointer method, where we are actually swapping the elements at the beginning and ending indexes till the condition is met where index pointed by first pointer is greater or equal to the index pointed by the second pointer. And now this is the recursion method, which is just to have a recursion method instead of having for loop. Yeah, thank you, people. So that's it for today. We'll be back in some time with some other lead code question to solve. If you like a video, please subscribe, like, or click the bell icon. Bye. Thank you so much.